From the home of the three-piece combos, Pugilism Company. This is Reed BBS. BBS. Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. The brothers Charlo. The undefeated brothers Charlo. They'll both be squaring off this Saturday, December 22. Jermell Charlo, 31-0, 15 KOs. His twin brother Jermall, 27-0, 21 KOs. Their fights will take place at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Baby. Had to give my little Biggie homage out there, put that out there. You know, I got nothing but love for Brooklyn, Jigga, the whole nine. This will be on Premier Boxing Champions debuts on Fox, on the Fox network. To me, this is clearly Al Heyman's answer to Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. Like, there's, connect the dots. It's not even hard to figure that out. And the card itself has received a pretty substantial push during NFL games the last few weeks, particularly this last Sunday. For my Dallas Cowboy fans, hey, that Colts game, that Indianapolis Colts game didn't go so well, but we were laced up with Charlo brother ads throughout the telecast. And that's a good thing, man. Also, most recently, NBA TV had a Charlo ad advertising the fight. Jermell, he was at the Brooklyn Nets versus Los Angeles Lakers game. And Brooklyn actually won. Like, hey, full disclosure, I'm a Bron dude. I'm a Bron dude. So I feel some type of way about that. Nonetheless, my man Jermell Charlo was in attendance. They hyped the fight up. They put him on camera, sitting courtside. That's what that is, man. That's what that is. Jermell will be facing Tony Superbad Harrison in defense of his WBC 154-pound title. Harrison is a Kronk fighter, and his nickname is, again, an homage. I used that word earlier. It's an homage to Bernard Superbad Mays. That's a name that means nothing to most boxing fans these days. But most Kronk fighters, particularly old school Kronk fighters, will tell you Bernard Superbad Mays was the most talented Kronk fighter ever. Like, you can't ask Manny Stewart anymore, God rest his soul. But ask Tommy Hearns. Ask Mike McCallum. Ask several others. The problem is, Mays was a certified alcoholic by the age of 16. By 16, he was an alcoholic, and he was dead by the age of 33 due to complications and ramifications of his disease. Tommy Hearns said he almost quit boxing because he dreaded the days he had to spar against Bernard Superbad Mays. But I digress. I went off on a tangent. I do that sometimes, get a little history bug in my head. My bad. Harrison, 27-2, 21 KOs. That's not a bad record, but at the same time, my man was KO'd by Willie Nelson. And Jarrett Hurd stopping you, in hindsight, that's not so bad. Like, the first big KO that we noticed of Hurd's was the vacant title fight against Harrison. Hurd's rattled them off since then, so we can't even be mad. Harrison cites stamina issues. He says he's eating better now. He's living more responsibly now. And in his defense, he showed improved stamina versus Ishai Smith. But just putting it out there, Ishai Smith is more than a decade older than Jermell Charlo. Like, showing improved stamina against a 40-year-old dude, what does that have to do with you against a 28-year-old dude? Like, what? What does that have to do with that? Anyways, love, tap, bitch slap that like button, y'all. Like, for real. Subscribe, comment. NWA said 100 miles and running. Well, Pugilism Company, we saying 1,000 subscriptions and running. Running to live streams. Let's run to them live streams together, man. Let's cross that finish line together. I promise you, you will want to be a part of this. I promise you. The things we got on deck, you will want to be a part of that. So, yeah. Love tap, bitch slap that like button. Jermall Charlo versus Matt Korobov. Korobov's a late replacement for Willie Monroe Jr. He had a quote-unquote adverse finding, whatever the fuck that means, an adverse finding in a test administered by VADA. So did he pass the test or did he fail the test? Adverse finding. They didn't want to put him on Front Street, but what the WBC did say is we will not sanction this fight, which is why Monroe Jr. was replaced with Matt Korobov. Korobov is 28-1, 14 KOs. Like Monroe Jr., he's a southpaw, and Korobov was already going to appear on this undercard. So when people hear the word replacement, they think this dude was sitting on his couch doing nothing, eating potato chips and drinking beer or whatever. Or even though he's just some dude in the gym just sparring scrubs. No, Korobov was going to appear on this particular show. So his body's already in tune for that date. They're changing opponents. He's fighting a tougher guy. He's cool with it. And Korobov will make for a more entertaining matchup than Monroe ever could have. Win, lose, or draw, it'll be a more entertaining fight with Korobov than it would have been with Monroe Jr. That said, Andy Lee stopped Korobov in 6 rounds, and Lee never, ever approached the level of Jermall Charlo, not in my opinion. Here's the bottom line. I'm not going to give you my prediction just yet. I'll do a podcast on that later in the week. This is a showcase event for the brothers Charlo. And more than anything, they'll be competing against each other. Like, even more than their actual opponents, they'll be competing against each other, both wanting to outshine the other. They're both on record stating that. Skill level, technique, power, momentum, ambition is just too much for Harrison and Korobov. The Charlos are wanting bigger fights. Like Jermell wants to unify. He's been chasing Jared Hurd for a minute now. Hurd's been hurt, but it's time to make that happen. Jermall, he's already called out Canelo. Hey, let's do it, Cinnamon. Him and Daniel Jacobs have had exchanges back and forth. He wants that smoke. Like I say, I'll give a prediction later on, but I promise you, I'm reserving judgment right now because the Charlos will give us some juicy quotes, a little bit of conflict, and something memorable for sure. This is fight week. This is Charlo fight week. It's never boring with these dudes, and they're on the same card. Oh, no. We'll get some juice. We'll get some dirt. Can't wait for it. That's why I love watching these dudes, man. Subscribe, like, and comment. Be on the bandwagon for the 1,000 miles, the 1,000-mile and running live stream promo from the home of the 3-piece combos, Pugilism Company. This is Reed, BBS, Black Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.